This message is for my woke followers. And we all know that woke means we're okay with empathy, as we're in good company with this guy and this gal and some 10,000 saints. You all deserve some good news, so I have 5 points to make that will cheer you up today for sure. Number one, half the voting public did not elect Donald Trump. No matter what people say, more people didn't vote than voted for fascism. So quit thinking you can't trust half your countrymen. The truth is, you can't trust 2/3 of your countrymen because 1/3 put him in office and the other third stayed home to let them put him in office. More people didn't vote than voted for Donald Trump. So cheer up. More people didn't vote than did vote for him. Point number two, Putin spent 5% of his total wealth in buying the US election and influencing this election. And he did it by flooding the airwaves with angry sentiments saying both sides are corrupt or your vote doesn't matter. And the dumb and the lazy connected with Putin's message. But here's my point. The man spent over $2 billion to influence you, and it didn't work. We experienced the election interference firsthand on social media. You can look at this chart and see the obscene growth that happened right before the election. See at the end of the chart how we are now losing followers. That's because Meta is canceling all the fake accounts that popped up right before the election. It doubled our follower count. It was 50,000 new fake accounts per month, which did nothing for our sales and nothing for our business. So we knew that something was suspicious. And now Meta is in there canceling these accounts for the good it does. But back to my point. Congratulations. You're immune to the propaganda. And I want to thank you for using your God-given reasoning powers. Number three, cheer up. Trump has failed at everything he has ever tried to do in his life. Everything. He is not going to succeed as a fascist dictator. He doesn't have the discipline and he eats processed food, where Putin gets up every morning and exercises for like 2 hours and then has a healthy breakfast. So cheer up. Trump will fail at fascism. Number four, even Russia has some democracy. Really, check out the Pussy Riot story. They were imprisoned for singing in protest of the patriarchy at churches, and they took the Russian government, to court, and they won. Now, they didn't take them to court for free speech. They didn't have the right to do that. They only took them to court for the abuses they suffered while they were in prison, and the settlement wasn't enough to pay their legal fees. And yes, it took them years and years and years, and it wasn't like real democracy, but there's a glimmer of it. So cheer up over that. Number five, I developed a fascist survival program that I'm going to talk more about later. But I first had to develop it and test it, but I'm ready now. Right now, I'm going to share you with the very first tip in my fascism survival kit, which is learn another language. Learn a foreign language. I highly recommend, if you don't speak Spanish, you learn Spanish. It is so convenient to do so now. There are free apps. There are apps you can pay for that treat it like a game. And with 15 to 20 minutes a day, instead of listening to the news, I highly recommend that you learn a second language. If you already know a second language, learn a third. It is better than watching the news. The news is going to make you crazy. It's a train wreck. There's a new disaster every hour. So I highly recommend that you pick up a second language. This can be an act of activism and resistance, because Trump's trying to make us more isolated. So imagine if we came out of it with everybody speaking more foreign languages. That's a reverse energy to the damage that he's trying to do. And then there's a silver lining to it, that if once you learn Spanish, when we're all required to learn Russian, it'll be easier to pick that up.